Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening to some of you. Excellent to see all of you on this Friday. Looks like we've got Lydia saying hello and Lisa, who showed up early today because she keeps missing the beginning. Excuse me. Welcome, Lisa. Right on time. We've got Celeste and John, both Johns. Yes, the Johns are here. John in Wisconsin and John in California. Robert is checking in, as well as Carol and Magdalena. Devin is here, Jason is also here, and Martine. It's excellent to see so many names popping up and to see all of you. I hope that everyone has had an awesome week so far and that you are kicking off the weekend. And I think as Danny mentioned this, I think it's really important to kind of keep your days straight in terms of having the weekend kind of feel like a weekend, you know? Whatever that means for you. I try to avoid as many screens as possible on the weekends because I work from a computer most of the time. But whatever that means for you, I hope that you are about to kick off a weekend of hanging out at home with whoever you're, holed up and quarantining with. I want to start off by showing you guys some amazing artwork from our Bootcamp course. And I think those of you in the chat, some of you that are longtime students, are going to recognize some of these assignments, one in particular, and I want to show off what students have been doing in the Bootcamp course. And if you haven't taken it or are new to Sketchbook School, Bootcamp is kind of it's a new course, but it includes some videos from classic, sort of the greatest hits of Sketchbook School, and it's a really great place to start. It's meant for brand new students. So check out Bootcamp if you haven't yet, and if you're new. But one of the instructors his name is Tommy Caine, and he has this really iconic assignment in that course for homework that involves doing a very elaborate and long sitting while drawing your kitchen. And as you know, your kitchen tends to be a place with lots of knickknacks and nooks and crannies and drawers full of things. And this was Tommy Caine's drawing of his kitchen. And you can see he got so much detail and so many little pieces and parts of this. And this drawing, I think, took him maybe 4 hours to complete, which is wild. And we love seeing students tackle this assignment in our course. So I just want to show off a couple kitchens for people that braved this assignment. So this piece of art is from Glenda, and she tried to tackle a corner of her kitchen. And another student, Elizabeth, also did the kitchen drawing. And here she, attempts to get everything on the countertops. And I love this exercise because it kind of seems intimidating at first. And many of you that have taken it, I see Holly is saying that she remembers this assignment. It's kind of like a rite of passage at Sketchbook School. If you've drawn your kitchen, that's one of the biggest, kind of most laborious assignments that we've ever given, which is really fun once you finish it and have this beautiful product to look back on. And the process is really informative, and I think it's something special to spend that much time in one place just looking for details. So I love the art that they came up with for the kitchen drawing, and I want to share some other art, some simple contour drawings from the Bootcamp course. A lot of us have drawn our keys as part of Kosha's assignments and part of everyone else's contour line drawing prompts. And Diana used her page in a different way, and I think going off the page is a really interesting way to kind of jazz up your composition. I know sometimes when I draw, I try to fit everything on the page, but here you can see in Diana's drawing, going off the page definitely yields some awesome results. And then Abby also did a drawing of what looks like a loom or some sort of weaving material tool in her home. And this is a pretty intimidating subject. And for being a bootcamp student, for students that are new to drawing for the most part, I think this is really ambitious, and I love the drawing that she did. So Abby, a way to tackle kind of an intimidating subject there. Another assignment in the course involves lots of contour line selfies. Blind and not blind, and some of you have been doing these on drawing parties with us. It's always a good exercise to kind of break you out of a rut and make you forget to worry about perfection. And Amanda did a few contour line selfies layered on top of each other with different colors. And I just love that she did a couple different variations of the drawing, and the layers with different colors sort of gave it kind of a little bit of movement, and I just love the energy of this. So Amanda, thank you for sharing your selfie and your feelie, is what they're called in the course. And some other student projects that I wanted to share that I thought were really cool. A student named Lydia this week was kind of doing some experiments drawing the same subject in watercolor on different kinds of paper. So this drawing, this painting rather, she did the same subject and used the same color palette and materials, but as you can see, the paper took the watercolor in really different ways. And I just think it's really interesting to think about what if you were to try to reproduce the same drawing on a different piece of paper and see what happens and how it responds to watercolor. So Lydia, I loved seeing these side by side. I thought that it was really fun to kind of see the difference. And it also made me want to experiment with paper in terms of using watercolor and other wet media. Another student, Marilyn, joined us for a drawing party, one of Danny's, and she drew a shoe. And Danny did a really interesting drawing party this week that you can find on our YouTube channel, where he talked about shoes and kind of what they say about us. And I really loved Marilyn's little shoe drawing. And I feel like when you look at someone's shoes, you can see a lot about them, sort of see a personality come through. And I thought that was really cool. So Marilyn, thanks for sharing your shoes. And it looks like we've got Bonnie coming in from Oregon. Marion is also here. Just another round of hellos. And the last piece of student art that I want to share, one of our students, Don, in the schoolyard, did a really distorted drawing of his bathroom. So he really played with perspective here. And I love kind of the fishbowl or fisheye quality that this has. And he actually inspired other students to try this. So some other students made some attempts. Lisa, who's here in the chat with us, she did the room that she was in this sort of distorted style. And I just love that Dawn posted this drawing and that it inspired other people to give it a try. Because I think the style is really funky and it kind of makes me feel like I'm in a fishbowl. So Lisa, nice work on that. That was a really fun drawing. And right now we come to the part in our Friday broadcast where we draw together just for a couple minutes. We like to call this just a little 3-minute focus. Yulia, you are just in time. We are going to get out our sketchbooks and do a little bit of drawing. And we've been doing a lot of contour line drawings, in our drawing parties and things of that nature. And for today's drawing, what I want you to do is I want you to pick up an object near you, whatever you have. I'll take a pair of scissors that I have at my desk. And I want you to grab a really large marker or a large tool. It could be a crayon or a pastel. I've been working in fountain pen all week in micron pen, so working really tiny with little lines. So I grabbed a big fat Posca paint marker. So I want you to draw with something that's bold and kind of creates a really big line. And the object I'm drawing is kind of small and delicate. Whatever you're drawing doesn't have to be. You can just pick anything on your desk or your table. But I want you to try and draw with something that's bigger so that you can't really be too precious about the lines. And you also have to make them a little bolder just by default. So I'm going to do this just because it's kind of a way for me to sort of get out of the mode of working with tiny little fine liners. I want to break from that. So I'm going to make some big bold lines with a Posca pen. But if you have a Sharpie or a Crayola marker, it could be a pastel or anything that's going to give you a nice big line. That's what I'm interested in today. So obviously if you don't have that, you can draw any object at your desk with any pen that you have. But for me right now, I'm going to set a timer. My husband stole my official timer, so I'm going to use my phone. But I'm going to set a timer for 4 minutes. And I just want you to grab your really big drawing tool, whatever you decide to use, and draw an object at your desk. Again, I'm going to draw these little dainty scissors, these hair cutting shears, actually. And I'm going to draw them with a big marker. So for those of you that are joining me for the drawing part, I'm going to start the 4-minute timer, and I'm going to start drawing. And for me, this is my first drawing of the day. I haven't done any drawing yet this morning. And I'm not sure if that's the same for you. For those of you on the West Coast who are just waking up, this might be your first drawing of the day. But whatever drawing it is for you, I encourage you to just take a couple minutes and kind of focus. And I like doing this because it kind of gives me a little screen break and also just gives me a chance to make some quick art. And as always, if you do any drawing today, we love seeing it on social media and in the schoolyard. So definitely share it. And you can tag Sketchbook School, or you can tag the, in the schoolyard, you can use the student bulletin topic. But I'm drawing and I'm already having a hard time getting the scale of this right with these big fat lines. But that was why I chose this tool to use, and that's part of the challenge. So I'll be curious to see what you come up with. And I think I gravitated towards the scissors because I need a haircut, and I think I'm on the brink of giving myself my own haircut. Just a trim, nothing crazy, but I think that might be why I gravitated towards haircutting shears as my object. That might have been a subconscious thing, but they happen to be on my desk, and a haircut happens to be on my mind. So let's see, with our timer, we've got 2.5 minutes. So for those of you that are drawing along, curious if you're using a Sharpie or a paint pen, or let's see, Marion is saying she already spammed the schoolyard. It's not spam if it's your art, and we love seeing it. So don't worry, Marion. Do not worry about that. Yeah, and I'm just loving this. Posca paint pens are so fun. They're really chunky, and they give you a nice juicy line, which is a lot of fun. And it's kind of rainy and gross here in Columbus, Ohio. I bet our West Coasters are getting a lot of nice sunshine right now. Speaking of who, John is using an Ecoline marker. Those are also really fun. I think they have that brush-like tip, which is really fun to play with. And you don't have to finish this in 4 minutes. You know, it's just the idea of getting started and setting aside a few moments to focus and kind of just let your mind wander. So don't worry about it being a finished or perfect drawing, obviously. It's just fun to get a few lines down on the page. Looks like Bonnie's using a Crayola marker, which is great. Kind of reminiscent of childhood. Although they have much cooler colors now. I swear when I was a kid, I had a box of like 6 colors and that was it. But now they've got every color under the sun in Crayola markers. But yeah, and the more that I stare at these scissors, I'm telling you, my hands are itching because I want to cut my hair so badly. So just want to give myself a little trim. I think that's going to be happening this weekend. I presume all of you are also sheltering in place right now. So you might be thinking of other things that you really wish you could do right now. For me, it's a haircut. And I think I just finished my scissors. We've got about 20 seconds left. I usually never finish these drawings, but that's another perk to working with something really big. Drawing happens pretty quickly because you're laying down some thick, large lines. So that's nice. Take that as an added benefit. And that was our timer. So for those of you, it looks like, oh man, it's getting pretty hot where S Arts is. 95 degrees that's toasty. We're not going to see that here in Ohio for another couple months, I don't think. But I did my scissors really quickly, and now all I can think about is using them, cutting my hair. But I hope that you were able to get something down with something big, fat, and juicy. I love these markers. I'll probably do some more drawing with that later today. But thank you to all of you that tuned in and stopped by to say hello and to do a little bit of drawing. And it looks like Steve is saying that his wife wants him to trim her hair soon and he's not looking forward to it. You know, my husband asked me to give him a haircut and I was too nervous. So I have not said yes to that request. So Steve, good luck. I hope that you are good with the scissors, and if not, that your wife is very patient. And it looks like Eve is just popping in. Eve, we are just wrapping up. These broadcasts are usually about 15 minutes. We share some student art, and then we do a 4-minute drawing together. Used to be 3 minutes, kind of extending it a little bit. But thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see all of you next week back here at the same spot. And I hope that you have an awesome weekend. And I hope everyone can stay safe and healthy and make lots of art. Maybe get or give some haircuts. Thanks, everyone.